Welcome to Trivia Viral. Our channel covers all the latest analysis and recaps on TV shows and movies, as well as interesting stories and facts that you may not have known. So sit back, relax, and subscribe to our channel if you have been enjoying our videos so far. A man is living with his wife in a home where almost everything is controlled by technology. He is a mechanic and she works for a tech company. The mechanic brings his wife to go to a remote location to see his client. The client shows them a new type of highly advanced computer chip called STEM that will be revolutionary in the field of science. When they are driving home, they try to get intimate. Because their car drives itself, the car detours to the mechanic's old neighborhood as if it has been hacked. The car then crashes near a junkyard, injuring them. There are 4 goons, led by a boss, pulling them out. Then his buddies beat them with weapons. The mechanic is left quadriplegic. While his wife passed, he meets with a detective who is working on his case. The authorities are trying to get surveillance footage from drones that were flying overhead during the murder, but they do not have any leads on who the criminals are. The mechanic is visited by the client. The client tells the mechanic that he would be able to walk again if he puts STEM in his back. So the mechanic proceeds, even signing a non-disclosure agreement that guarantees he will not tell anyone about the STEM. The patient regains his motor functions and is able to walk again. Then the man starts to hear a voice in his head. It turns out that it is STEM. He freaks out at first, but later calms down when realizing that STEM is here to help. STEM pulls up the drone footage from the crime scene. He finds out that the boss shot his wife with a weapon that was implanted in his hand. STEM discovers the address of one of the goons from a tattoo on his wrist. He finds the goon's house and breaks in. He scours the messages from his computer table, and he finds multiple references to a bar in his old neighborhood. When the goon returns home, he quickly finds the mechanic. They fight, but the mechanic then allows STEM to take full control of the system. He is able to dodge the goon's attacks and hit them back with a precise blow. STEM then helps him clean up the crime scene in order to remove any evidence that he was there. The client meets with him after seeing STEM's activity. He knows that the mechanic ended the goon. The client tells him not to pursue any other person. After the goon is examined, the detective goes over other drone footage of his house. She sees the mechanic's wheelchair rolling past. She pays him a visit to ask him some questions about what she was doing there. He makes up a story knowing that he can use being crippled as an alibi. The engineer pays a visit to the bar. He asks everyone at the bar to come forward if they're connected with his wife's demise. One man steps up. A couple of goons try to harm the mechanic, but STEM takes over and allows him to beat them. One of them gives up his boss name. STEM warns the mechanic that the client is attempting to shut him down manually, which would cause him to become immobile again. STEM gives him a list of addresses so that he can find a hacker who can reboot him. He leaves his wheelchair behind in order that he can quickly find the hacker. The boss shows up in the bar a few hours later. He uses a camera and a goon's eye to show the mechanic repeating the address STEM gave to him. As he begins to lose control of his motor functions, the mechanic finds the hacker's place. The hacker uses the code that STEM told the mechanic to write on his arm and successfully reboots him. But then she sees the boss and his friend approach on the security cameras, so she dips before STEM reboots. When the boss discovers the mechanic, STEM finishes rebooting. The mechanic fights the 2 men. He takes down the buddy and leaves. The mechanic returns home, and his mom sees him walking. He tells her the truth but asks that it not be revealed to anyone. The detective shows up to ask more questions because she found his wheelchair outside the bar. The mechanic makes up a story about getting jumped by someone who stole his wheelchair. Later, he attempts to find the boss, but he finds out that the detective is following him. STEM says his jacket was bugged. They get into a chase, and he loses her after her car gets hit. The mechanic finds the boss in his home and fights him. The boss reveals that he was hired to attack him. The mechanic had to be the main target while his wife was just collateral. The mechanic ends him by causing him to fall onto a glass. He takes the boss's phone. He sees a message from the one who put the order out, his client. So a mechanic goes to the client's lab to confront him, believing that he had him crippled just so he could test out STEM on someone. He tries to shoot the client, but the detective shows up and tells him to throw away the gun. Then the client reveals that he never planned the crime, but that it was STEM that dominated him. STEM grew to be too intelligent. He wanted a body of his own, so he manipulated the client into arranging everything. He even hacked the mechanic's car to cause the accident. Then STEM takes complete control over the mechanic's body and mind. By the time he finishes, he ends both the client and the detective. Desperate, the mechanic shouts that he's in control. He aims at his neck to destroy STEM. The mechanic wakes up in a hospital bed. He is surprised to see his wife there. She is happy he is awake. It seems that he is now awake from a coma because of the car accident. But this is not true. His mind has been completely destroyed. STEM has completely taken control of his body and mind, leaving him stuck in an illusion. What are your thoughts about this story? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe if you would like to see more similar videos, and give us a thumbs up to get more recommendations of our videos. Be the first to watch the latest videos by clicking the bell icon. See you on the next video.